Hi, welcome back to your Wednesdays this morning with me, Richard Madeley, and Kat Healy here. Got a lot more coming up for you on the programme today. How's your morning been so far?
It's going pretty well, actually.
Well, you know, Ben, you weren't here.
Madeley, go on.
Well,
other side of the sofa.
Don't spend so long in the loo, then.
Nick the job over there.
Look,
Come and nick this job as well.
You've got a Madeley warm-up.
Isn't it amazing, though, that music?
Yeah.
The original title.
It's the trigger.
The original, even for us, as sort of being at home and being able to watch it, if you had the day... We were saying the other day, if you have a day off from school now, there's so much going on, there's so much to do. Actually, it's quite good fun. Back then, the only thing you could do if you had a day off school was watch This Morning.
And students. I mean, students, you know, sort of recovering from the night before. There was, you know, there were no laptops, there were no iPhones, so they watched This Morning. We had a huge student viewership. It was amazing.
And the titles, sorry, Kat, we're just looking at those titles there. And you had the titles of you and Judy with the kids as babies. Look there.
Chloe, that's Chloe.
Is it Chloe?
That's little Chloe.
Yeah.
So there's you with Chloe. This was 35 years ago.
1988.
There's you with Chloe now.
God.
You don't look
that's not
any
even
different.
now. That's a few years back as well.
Oh.
You don't look any different, Richard.
come on.
No, you
I do.
don't. It was your birthday, actually, on Monday, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, but we don't talk about it.
No, we don't. We're just not going to talk about it at all.
The lovely thing, though, of you holding Chloe is, of course, Chloe's got little Bodhi now as well, who's probably a little bit older than Chloe was then.
I think Chloe's about 5, 6 months there. Bodhi's about 20 months now.
Yeah.
And she's gorgeous.
There's Bodhi.
Look, that was taken yesterday. They're in Dubai. And I just thought, she looks like she's about to read the news.
She does, she really does.
I'm coming up on tonight, so...
It is, it's in the family. That's what it is.
But we're going to talk about Father's Day.
Oh, right.
This is your brand new book. It's out on the 23rd of May.
Yep.
I started it last night, and you know I'm not a great sleeper.
She's not a great sleeper.
As it goes.
They put you to sleep.
No.
I did the opposite.
The opposite.
Oh, good.
Within the first 20 pages, there is, like, crucifixion and murder, a fisher, like a catfisher online. There is a terrible accident. And I was like, Madeley, I am putting this down, and it's... Tell me what happens in the rest of the book.
I'll try and summarise it in a minute. It's a revenge thriller.
OK.
And at the heart of it is a troll. This is a guy who's in his mid-40s. He's a horrible, horrible man. And he has become very skilled at catfishing teenage girls. He goes into teen chat rooms and he impersonates online 15, 16-year-old girl. He calls himself Rosie, and he's very convincing. And he does it for all sorts of weird, pervy reasons. He gets them to talk about things that we can't talk about here. But his real thing is to try and get girls... He finds a vulnerable one, and he focuses in on them and develops what appears to be a wonderful friendship from one teenage girl to the other. But actually, what he wants them to do is to self-harm, and if possible, take their own life. And the book opens with his death. It's a revenge killing. We find him crucified.
Oh, it's him.
It's him.
Right.
It's not a plot spoiler.
No.
We find him crucified upside down in a real place, actually. I think we've got a picture of it. It's a Roman amphitheatre near Cirencester. And it's happened in the middle of the night, and the police find this appalling scene, and we're off. And basically...
That's it, is it? That's where he's found.
And the man who's done it, and again, all this is made clear quite early on in the book, is the girl's father. This girl has killed herself, and nobody knows why. She's had this secret relationship with this troll on a secret laptop that no one knows exists. And 2 years after she takes her own life in her bedroom, he finds the secret laptop. And he manages to hack into it, and he works out what happened. And then he tracks the guy down, and he kills him. So the story's told in flashback and flash forward as we go through. And the two central questions, really, that I want the reader to get involved in is, one, do we want the father to be caught and punished? Does he deserve it for doing something so heinous? He's crucified a man who's died in agony. Or do we think it was kind of justified? And what do we think about the guy who's been murdered? Are we glad? We're actually glad that he died that way?
It's just terrifying, because to me, that whole technological world, anyway, with young children, it's terrifying. It could be a great movie, though, too.
A couple of people have said that. I didn't write it with that in mind, but I suppose it's quite visual.
As I was coming in today, I walked past Susanna and I said, "Oh, Richard's coming in," and she said this book she picked up and read in 3 days.
I know.
Because that's the thing, you've written a page-turner, Rich, which I would imagine, you know, when you're sitting down writing it, you want that to be the case. As Kat was saying, it was so involved at the start.
It's very much like the discipline of doing this programme or doing GMB. You want people to stay over the break.
Yes.
So you tease things, you know, you sort of chin thins up a little bit. And yeah, that's what I've trapped her. I've tried to leave it with people thinking, oh my God, what now? What's going to happen here? And of course, the father who kills this monster he's a very intelligent man. He's a very nice man, actually. He's a very decent guy. But the power of revenge. What would a father do? What would you do if it was your daughter who'd been cajoled into killing herself, taking her own life? What would you do if you found the man responsible?
So you come across as such a lovely, affable, easy-go-lucky guy, but there's a dark, sinister side to the Madeley. There's the journalist in you. Because, of course, you will have covered stories like this endlessly over the years.
I've never covered a crucifixion.
No.
But catfishing and people online being bullied or being, tragically taking their own lives.
It's very current, isn't it?
Yes.
Very, very current.
Yeah.
What do the kids make of it? Do they read your books?
Only when they've actually been published. I don't like them having an advanced read. Judy hasn't read it yet either.
Has she not?
No, I like to keep it real. I don't want too much input. I mean, when you're writing, you need to be on your own, really, and you don't want too much influence. So if I was giving them chapters and said, what do you think of this? I think it might put me off my stride, So they'll look at it in the next week or two, I hope.
So your first book, Someday I'll Find You, it took you a long time to write that one?
Yeah.
A couple of years.
2 or 3 years, yeah.
How long did it take you to do this one? Was it?
From start to finish, I must admit, my publisher was very patient. I missed deadline after deadline after deadline.
Because you were doing next door.
GMB, I thought I could do the show in the morning and write in the afternoon, but you know what it's like. It's like you've got jet lag. So it took me a long time. It took me about 5 years. But I finally finished it about 4 or 5 months ago, and there it is. It's in print.
Amazing. We loved it. Last time you came and joined us was when we were celebrating 10 years of Good Morning Britain, and we had a lovely little chat about some of the things that you did with Judy, of course, the Viagra episode and how what emerged from that.
What came up, you mean?
Yeah. What we were talking about was some of those other things that happened when you were on the sofa here in this morning. And I'd forgotten about when you had Hercules the bear.
Oh, my God. Who? Jeez.
So you had a live bear that you were told you could feed.
Yeah.
What's the scar?
And he went for me. It's a grizzly bear. We must have been mad.
Why were they... I don't think you could do that now.
No, so much of what we used to do on This Morning, like the live Viagra test, for example, you just wouldn't do today. You couldn't do it today. You'd have Ofcom down your neck, But, no, a live grizzly bear in studio?
Close, yes.
That close?
Without any restraints.
Insane.
And were you only given a year to make the show work?
Yeah.
Yes. When we launched it in '88, it was, when was it? October the 3rd, 1988. And there was a lot of jealousy in the other companies in ITV who pitched for the show and hadn't got it, and Granada had got it, we'd got it. And so there was a kind of consensus that it would be off the air by Christmas, never mind a year. But ITV gave it 1 year because it was, in '88, there wasn't television like this.
No.
We went to America.
Yeah.
We looked at American daytime shows, which had been running for about 20 years. We took a lot of our kind of inspiration from them. We piloted it, and then we went on air. And we were confident that we had a format that would last. And look at it, it's still going.
It is still going. And I didn't realise, Richard, that actually you're...
that was Trading Places Day.
I thought the book was frightening.
That is scary,
The funny thing for me, because I know your son Jack very well, I just keep seeing Jack when you do moments like that.
Do you?
Yeah, I really do. It's lovely.
Quite alike.
But your TV accent is actually a persona. You're actually a bit more estral, a bit more like me. You're an Essex
Well,
boy,
basically, I was born in Romford, Essex, right? And I'm not putting this on. I'm slipping into this. Like, if I spoke French, I could speak French, right? So this is how I spoke.
That's your natural.
That's my natural
road.
Speaking voice, yeah. But my dad was a public school boy, and he hated dropped H's, and he hated the East London Essex accent. So at home, I spoke like this. And then if I spoke like this at school, I get beaten up.
Yeah.
So at school, I naturally spoke like that. And then I was on the East London Advertiser, which was like the big East End newspaper, just after the craze had gone out of business. Yeah. Obviously, I had to talk like that there, otherwise I'd get beaten up again. So yeah, that estuary English is my natural. Yeah.
So I find my wife always says to me, whenever I'm home or I've gone to watch West Ham and I'm hanging out with my schoolmates,
does it come out?
Or I'm talking to a cab driver, usually my accent drops a little bit as well.
Does it?
Oh, for heaven's sake, can you stop pretending not to be actually who you are?
Have you noticed? Maybe you're not old enough, but when I look at recordings of me talking on television and some early radio recordings when I started in local radio in the 1970s, and I spoke very much like that.
It's even more arty.
Oh yes, it was even more. Yes, it was very BBC. Yes.
That was how it used to be.
Terribly good.
No, I'm not that old. That's the problem.
I know you're not.
Lovely to see you. Thank you for dropping in.
Thank you for
Father's Day
talking about the
out
book.
23rd May.
Yes.
There you go.
Brilliant
Very
stuff.
much.
Thank you.
Prepare yourselves, though. It's a page turner and there's a lot that goes on.
Terrifying.
Thank you very much.